Hi guys, welcome to Pit Lane Sim Racing. Today, update 1.8 rolls out for F1 Manager 22, and I thought I would just go over some patch notes. I've played it, I've done a full race with it at like 100%, and I thought I'd go through the notes and the impact I think they're having. This is coming out on all of the platforms, so let's get straight into it, guys, with the first note here. Adjusted tyre performance deltas, degradation rates, and performance during degradation for all compounds across all weather types. Now, my little input on this is I've done one race. I immediately started a new career as Williams. And at Bahrain, to me, there seemed to be a big difference between the beginning of a run and the end of a run. Across the AI and my user drivers, Latifi and Albon, there seemed to be around a 1.4 second difference between the beginning of a run and the end of a run across the tyres. So the mediums would be about 1.4 seconds slower at the end of the run, the hards and also the softs. There also seems to be quite a bigger delta between using the softs, mediums and hard tyres. For example, I had Latifi drive away from Vettel, who was obviously is in the Aston Martin. Vettel was on new hard tyres, Latifi was on new medium tyres, and at Bahrain I managed to break DRS and get away from Vettel on the hard tyres. Now, is that right? I'm not sure, but I'm happy to see a bigger delta. It's maybe a little bit skewed because I'm driving as Williams with Latifi, but certainly from my testing, it seems like there is a bigger delta and that the tyres do degrade over a stint, which is great to see. That's what we want. Updated fuel data displayed to improve readability and stability. Fuel data is now measured in kilograms and is relative to the expected fuel load at the current point in the race. Now, before they had like this plus minus thing and then the weight of fuel left on the car. Now it's super simple to read. You've got the weight of fuel remaining on the car and it will simply say plus or minus the fuel that you've got, and it seems much easier to manage now. I think it's the same technically, but they've just changed how it's shown to us, the user. And I think it's much easier to manage now. I found managing it during my Bahrain Grand Prix. I do it at 1 times when I'm streaming on Facebook Gaming, and it just seemed much easier to manage. It seemed less extreme. You know, before you would put them on attack or whatever with the fuel, and immediately your delta would go -3 or something, and you'd have to change it back. It now seems much more stable, so they've definitely improved there. Updated behaviour of backmarkers and slow-moving cars, so they move aside more effectively when required. Now, I can vouch for this. Definitely at Bahrain, at least. When it came to lapping, I saw none of the weirdness. The leading cars, they got stuck, if you like, behind, as you'd expect, a little bit as they were going round a corner. But then the back marker got out of the way in a timely way. It wasn't like they were stuck for ages. It was they were catching them, and then at the nearest convenience, the back marker got out of the way. It didn't look stupid. And it looked very believable and right. It's much improved from my testing at Bahrain. Further adjustments to car part development focus and attribute trade-offs to help balance player progress versus other teams. Now, I'm really happy to see that because I think most people would agree if you really went for it that you could get your car upgraded and you could get up to where you needed to be very quick. If you look back at my previous tips videos, other people were telling me I was wrong about certain bits. I wasn't wrong because I took Aston Martin to the championship straight away pretty much. So it was a little bit easier, so I'm happy to see that the development focus and trade-off has been approached, because then hopefully it's slower to upgrade. Improvement to AI strategic behaviour during wet weather conditions. Now, I've not had a wet race yet, but that's really good to see because I've seen it both. They pit just before wet weather, and they also stay out too long on wet tyres before, so I'm glad to see that. Fixed an issue where safety car would pull aside to let cars pass by if the race leader enters the pits. On this, they still, I don't think, let lapped cars by with the safety car. Because I did have a safety car at the end of my Bahrain Grand Prix, though the field wasn't bunched up by the time the safety car went in, so I'm not sure, but I don't think it lets lapped cars past. Fixed an issue where saving on a specific screen would cause all 20 cars to appear during Q2, and added super wide monitor support, including fix for gameplay UI appearing in the center of the display. I've actually already heard people saying that's an amazing fix, so nice one from Tyre for that. Minor adjustments to starting car performance, starting facility levels, and board performance expectations for a small number of teams to align with their real-world performance will only take effect in new saves created after this update is installed. So that's the only one that, you know, affects. Everything else should be good. If you've got a save, carry on. But this is all about starting. So there you go. General stability. Fix multiple crashes caused by various events, including invalid qualification grids and tyre types. Fixed instance of hard lock when changing stint compound tyre to a compound the player has run out of in strategy view. Yeah, I've had that. And fixed multiple reported soft locks and progress blockers in the tutorial sequence. Drivers and staff. Multiple corrections made to staff information, including age and accompanying photos. Fixed an issue where drivers would remain in a bookmarked slot after retiring. Achievements and trophies. Fixes for multiple instances of achievement trophies not triggering correctly, including Constructors Champion and First of Many achievements and trophies have earned but not triggered should unlock after this, after their next race. Fixed a small hole in the car model for several cars. Cinematics. Fixed an issue where tyres would sometimes appear duplicated. Definitely seen that one. Stopped instances of rain passing through the ceilings of pit buildings. Seen that one when you're sorting out for practice and stuff. You can see that sometimes. Fixed soft lock when opening the options menu during some cutscenes. And reduced instances of major garage reactions to minor race incidents such as car running wide. I noticed that it always seemed a little bit overblown. Circuits. Updated Miami International Autodrome track map in the circuits menu to add tags for corners 17, 18 and 19. Facilities. Controller. Fixed bindings for right shoulder buttons not working in overview and usage tabs. Pit stops. Resolved an issue where unattached tyres would appear in the pit lane. Definitely seen that. Fixed a trackside camera focus for second car when double stacking cars for pit stops. And on Steam, added on-screen keyboard support for Steam Deck and Steam Big Picture mode, and resolved issue causing game to launch Steam VR when a VR headset is connected. Now, look, I'm going to say, with my initial play that I've just had doing a full race, that the update is superb. It's exactly what we've been asking for since release. And actually, I'm really impressed with how quickly Frontier have addressed things, because all of these are based upon our feedback, and I absolutely love it when a dev actually looks at it and goes, right, what issues are people having? What are they really having? And let's look at those and let's address those. I'm still quite all right if the balancing isn't quite there, as long as it's vastly improved, and it definitely seems vastly improved. But I'd need to play it more to see if it's what you would call completely sort of fixed in there. And maybe we might be able to move on to some more quality of life stuff, but maybe some sort of feature improvements that people would like, you know, such as maybe pit mistakes or maybe driver illnesses or things like that, maybe. One thing I did want to say, because it says here about AI strategic behaviour during wet weather conditions, I noticed stuff in the Bahrain Grand Prix where the AI were pushing their tyres at different levels. Now, this is a thing I'd called on my, sort of ties in with something I'd called on my stream, where I said when sorting out a strategy, basically I was just putting them straight to aggressive and then picking the tyres that would get me to the end without going under 30%, right? So I was putting them on full push on the tyres, and whether that was medium hard, whether it was medium hard, whatever it was, that's what I was doing to get to the end, always aggressive. This specific thing, which I thought they would do and they have done, was if you now put it to aggressive, the tyres degrade a lot quicker. So you can't just go aggressive immediately. You can't do it. It is intended for short bursts to make something happen in the race, and that's a really good improvement. But back to my initial point, the AI, what we saw was the top 10, top 11 or 12 actually, were pushing the tyres really hard compared to the second half of the grid sort of thing. So positions, it was about 12 down to 20 where I was with the Williams. We had significantly more tyre to play with towards the end of the first stint, and that was just really interesting to see that they seem to be pushing the tyre a lot more and a lot further than before. So we saw them getting into the low 30s and even the high 20s of wear before boxing for new tyres. And that, with the added degradation, it just makes it interesting because it really mixed up where I was, what I thought was possible within the race, and that's what we want, isn't it? We want that dynamic feeling within the race. We don't want it to be a foregone conclusion. But do let me know what you think to this update down in the comments below. Personally, I'm really happy with what they've addressed and what they've done here. It's a very solid patch. Very solid. We might see a hotfix if it's introduced a bug or two. But I'm really excited if that was... I know they've done a patch, but if that was their first major update since release, I'm really excited for what the next few months have got for this game. And then maybe, you know, up towards Christmas, what we're going to get in the title. But let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.